unexpectedly large number of mail-in ballots rejected and sent back to voters in South Texas. The reason? The state's new Republican-backed voting law. That's according to the reporting of the Texas Tribune newspaper. Local election officials told the paper that many of the ballots were lacking newly required voter ID information, like a driver's license number. Houston and surrounding Harris County is a traditional Democratic stronghold in Texas. As of last week, nearly 40% of mail-in ballots rejected so far in the county were missing ID information, according to the Texas Tribune. Voters have an opportunity to fix their ballots and submit them again, so it remains to be seen how big of an impact these new voter ID rules will end up having on primaries next month. Alexa Ura reported this story for the Texas Tribune. She's the associate editor of the paper. Alexa, 40% of those that have been rejected are for that reason. Is it realistic that voters can fix them in time?
You know, we are seeing rejection rates from anywhere between 25 to 40% in counties across the state. Wow. And the concern for election officials is that they're used to seeing rejection rates between 1 to 3%. And so now, as they are sending these ballots back to voters, the concern is, will voters actually take that additional step to correct these ballots and get them back in time? We don't know that yet. And the reality is that the bulk of ballots have still yet to come back to counties. So these numbers could still worsen in terms of the scale of this in the days to come.
Alexa, I remember the critics of this new law voiced concerns that specific groups might be affected more than others. Is that the case? Do we know?
When we're talking about voting by mail in Texas, we are largely talking about voters who are 65 and older and people with disabilities. Our voting laws are very strict, and so you have to meet strict eligibility requirements to even request a mail-in ballot. When you're talking about these issues, those are the sort of voters that are being tripped up with these new ID requirements. The concern that we're hearing from election officials is that oftentimes these voters have limited mobility. They might not be able to drive anymore. And so as the calendar narrows toward the deadline to get these ballots fixed, they're worried that folks might not be able to come in to actually make these fixes.
Well, Alexa Ura from the Texas Tribune. Keep us updated. Thank you.